So we are live. And let's see. I guess I have to keep checking on this microphone every time I go live. Good now. All right. Yep. Testing 1 2 1 2 in the house to be. This gonna be a ride along, man. I'm at work. So as me being at work, video popped out. Hey man, I gotta get me a better mount. But we're gonna do a ride along. And just talk about some things, man, while I'm riding. Shout out to MOT, trucker, extraordinaire, you know, the man of tomorrow, just in case people don't know. But yeah, man, I'm what's going on, Epsilon, man? Just doing the ride along, man. I'm out here in the country, man. I'm in Winder, Georgia. So giving you the backwoods of Winder, Georgia, man. Might be somewhere. Look at that house right there. You might want to get a house, storage unit over here. A lot of country area out here, man. You got some land out here. You can grow, do some things. Uh, they might end up making Georgia legal with weed, so you might be able to get some land and grow some weed. Never know. People who like to smoke. Personally, I don't like to smoke. I don't like smoking nothing, cigarettes or nothing. Smoke weed back in the day. Don't like the smell, well, the feel of it in my throat. But the smoke, I guess, is kind of rough to me. But yeah, man, just gonna be riding and talking for a minute, man. Talking about a little bit of things. I'm on the way to a stop right now, and might even pull the phone out, go to the back of the truck, show the little route. No, this is a company truck. This is not my truck, so you're gonna see the little roughness of the truck, man. But that's what it is when you work for a company. Yeah, man. Ride along, trying to get some things understood within the community, man. Because eventually this ride along will end up being the reality in which you know men are going to get married. This my channels focus on marriage. People probably didn't know what the title was going to be with the ride along, but that's what it's kind of pivoting to. Having that that soul mate. Yeah, man. Getting into a situation where you're dealing with a woman. Eventually, you want to tie the knot, and you're gonna have to look at her in a different way, man. A lot of women out here, man, they moving around. They right now, COVID. I call it COVID love right now. We have a lot of COVID babies because it's getting to the point, man, where a lot of these women want their love. They tired of the loneliness, man. At the end of the day, they want his and her, and some of them are willing to do what it takes to be a a a, a, a Mrs. Is Miss and Mrs. They're gonna have to do what it takes to pull them titles off and you know add on. Spread the M and the S and drop a R in there. When it come down to it, man, what do these women really want? Because whatever they want, dudes ain't giving it to them. So obviously, they got to come to the table and they got to deal with the man because hey, it keeps coming down to the same thing. They always complaining, talking about how the men this and the men that. They want this and they want that, but it ain't working out for them. You know, they say, well, they want the man to be this way, and a lot of women say they want, a guy that can do this, a guy that can do that. And how's that working out for you? Because a lot of women are in situations to the point where it gets lonely. Hey, that got me on this this Maxwell, so my partner be getting on me because I be saying that, that with them feelings. So my partner like, oh, you think you singing? Oh, you an R&B dude now. Yeah. Oh, so you out here R&B two stepping. He be clowning me and stuff. I be laughing at him, man. But it's true when it boils down to it, man. You better pick the right one to pick the kiddies up. You know what are you gonna do to get that right woman? Because it's hard. Absalom, I know you say you put it out there, man. You want as many wives you can take care of, or if that was the statement, I'm gonna hold you to. If not, so be it. I'm like Gold Professor. I'm not one of approach. I stand correct. If anybody corrects me, it is welcome. You know, Gold P. I'm always on this channel listening to him, man. He giving that advice. Roger and my boy Art and the Star, they always talking about the community, man, the building, getting the knowledge and getting the understanding of what we gonna do to survive. I pump those guys' channel, man, and just big with those three guys in general, man. Gold P, shout out to him. He pushes a lot of knowledge. Today if people just don't know, Gold Professor had state talk about Texas to where we talked about um, Texas just in general. The cities there, cost of living, the housing market, the job market, the population, major cities, different little eateries we could talk about. Is a nice little discussion. Go P got a good thing going on, man. It's this channel is structured, man, and I'm trying to find my niche to where I can implement some type of structure to my channel because my main focus is going to be on family, because in some cases I'm looking around and seeing that, like I say, sometimes they get a bad taste, man, within this, you know, era of guys around here. So trying to, set the tone, man, because there's nothing wrong with being single. But if you're gonna get married, it's a guarantee that has to be done to a person that's getting married. He has to understand what he's getting into, what he's willing to do, and ultimately to have a successful uh relationship. When it comes down to it, man, a lot of guys we're not taught this stuff. You know, like I always say, look at these girls, fat booties. Look at the girls with the smiles, and we we so thankful to be entitled to deal with a woman on that caliber. You know, we always forget the main issue is when we get that woman and have that wife. What are the key things into keeping her? What are we gonna do as men to say, well, this is my wife, and without a shadow of doubt, she not going nowhere, and we're gonna work this thing out. Because I always get on guys about getting married, man. When you get married, what's going on? I'm listening. I'm about to drop this camera. Well, I'll go ahead and drop it down. Okay, paperwork. But the crazy part, man, when we get into the whole thing of being married, we got to start. You know what I'm saying? Getting an understanding as men how we gonna deal with our wives. You know how we gonna have the structure to benefit our family. Because, like I say, who was taught this? I wasn't taught. You know, I had uncles that showed me different ways. I knew how family looks by my family. You know, by my uncles, how one of my uncles stayed with his wife until he passed. You know, we have those structured settings and have understanding of, you know, see all these pallets I got up here, man. Gotta make this money with this. But Go P, what's going on, Go Professor? But you know, like I'm hitting, actually at work, making my last. Well, I got one more round after this one, but I got two stops. But getting an understanding, man, like how are we supposed to build a family? How are we supposed to make this family structure work? And dealing with the family structure, you know, who is, as we call BGS, the master teacher, you know, that teaches us something. Because when it boils down to it, you know, a lot of people, they come into situations and be like, you know, nobody was there to teach me, so I didn't learn. And if no one is there to teach you to learn, how are you going to implement and having a, you know, best relationship? You know, there's a lot of stuff that people might complain about and, you know, have issue with that, you know, it's something that's got to be taught. Something that's got to be taught, man. When it boils down to it, even with the girls, you know, lacking understanding. Hey, man, I got another cash app and put up there, man. I'm not putting that one up there. Yeah, that's that's my cash app. I throw around to people. I'm gonna go ahead and start using my other cash app. I'm gonna actually set it up today. But yeah, man, when it come down to it, we have to have that talk. We have to have the understanding, you know, dealing with the people, how we gonna perceive things and how things are gonna be handled within our community. You know, a lot of people have an issue of what needs to be done within the community, you know, but nobody's making a suggestion. Nobody's implementing laws within our community. We can implement our own laws. We can implement our own things to make us better for our community versus, you know, letting someone else give us a structure on how to, you know, benefit ourselves. Brief little moment of silence. Yeah, man. I had a quick little drop. It wasn't quick, but had my little drop right there. So, you know, we have this whole power struggle, like I said, of the family. But the bad part is when it boils down to it, all the issues that we have within our community, you know, we have some people giving out solutions, but who's listening? You know, we have a lot of people offering a little help to, assist us in having better. But once again, like I said, who's listening? You know, when it comes down to it, you have Dr. Claude Anderson. He preaches a lot about us, being focused to do things within our community. He's done got old to the point where, his voice is limited to this younger generation. Well, I wouldn't even say limited. It's silent to the younger generation. Those younger kids don't want to hear all, about making a community better, because they grew up in the culture of getting money, flashing. And I wouldn't say it all with all the youth, because you have a hand, full of the youth that actually want to see the community grow. You know, that's why you take upon this fact to where you have a lot of younger guys getting into, mentoring programs. A lot of young guys want to be doctors. A lot of young guys want to, sacrifice, let's go professor say, with the time and energy, and making making the community better. You know, it'll be easier for, a lot of young men to, date out the race, and, to where a lot of guys are having issues with women, to where if they say it won't be a big issue if they were to, deal with the structure in whole, and just say, I'm not dealing with none of these women because they don't know how to act. I'm going over here, just without even trying. That's the biggest thing that I look at. A lot of guys in the community, without even trying, they ultimately checking out. You know, they're trying to, go with a different route. They're trying to, go with a different thought, because they seen their uncles go through things. They seen family members and friends go through things. And in return, who wants to get caught up? That's I always tell people, this space, I come here for the knowledge. And that's what knowledge is supposed to represent, to where these young guys are not getting caught up in the same issues, the older guys. Because if the young guys get caught in the same pattern, pattern out problems as the older guys, then you got to take it for face value. The older guys ain't teaching us nothing, And when it comes down to it, we always have this rift between who? The older gentlemen and the younger guys, because they always complaining about the older guys not teaching them nothing, the older guys not really being there for them, or either just, not being around in general. And so we have to, to me, I call bullcrap on a lot of those guys, because, when it comes down to it, all they want to do is act like females, in my opinion, live in some type of truth. And I'm like, cut all that out, man. You a man. You come with morals and principles, man. You stand on things. Let them be. Don't come up here yelling, crying, and begging, and you know because you didn't get your popsicle when everybody else got their popsicle. I hear guys in this space, man, and for the most part, kind of tired of it, man. So if you're not willing to play the game, that's cool. Don't force no other man who's willing to, put his hat in the ring to say don't get married. Let that be choice. The whole thing. If a guy wants to get married, you teach him how to move right. Don't teach him that marriage is a bad thing. Just teach him how to move right. Ultimately, it's his choice. If he wants to, get caught up in the, brimstone and fire, just warn him. Give him the tools to, move a little different. You know, Nobody's 100% in this game. You know, I don't know the numbers or per stat, but the marriage rate is up and down, man. And for a lot of young guys that want to get married, hey, it's something that they gotta have to end up doing, man. They're gonna have to get to a point in their life to where if they do want to get married, they're gonna have to, Find some type of mentor, like I say, a master teacher to teach them, the ways of the land, not to get caught up, not to get put in a bad predicament, because either way it go at the end of the day, it's bound to happen, man. You know, check out check out them Air Max all bummed up. That's what I do, man. I wear my old work shoes when I sit there and tear these shoes up. I go ahead and run them up. Yeah, man, making all this noise. I'm gonna see how much noise come back on my mic. No, hey, get it in, man. I'm at work. I be doing this all the time, man. So, hey, I'll do a pre-trip of my truck. Let y'all know to get the inspection. But yeah, man, it's 100. When it come down to it, a lot of guys gotta understand. You know, it's a tough situation if you don't know. So you have to get, you have to get the help, have to get the guidance. And the bad part is, I wouldn't wish on no guy to deal with one person in order to get some kind of understanding about life. You're gonna be totally, either misguided or guided to some degree proper. But you know what the best key is? Seek a lot of advice. Multiple people. Multiple people, man. Because at the end, you know, when you sitting up here talking about how bad, you want to get married, you got to come at it from all angles. You know, one way to become a millionaire is learning the process. You know, it's the way to solve a problem. Anybody, pretty much that deals in some type of math, basic math, or anything, solving a problem is key. You got to be aware of the formula, the process on how to do it. That's what it takes in marriage, man. You gotta learn the process and the formula. It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's an easy process, man, because a lot of women, they're not built for this marriage. A lot of men are not built for marriage. But the whole thing is, I think men don't want to get married more on the scale of women. They want the glitz and glamour of the marriage. The man wants that legacy. When it comes down to it, there's men that, baby daddies that have kids, don't, essentially, have everything together to the point where they end up getting married. But, to be honest, I knew a guy that actually was about to marry his baby mama just for the sake of his child. And I told him, I said, man, you don't have to be married to that woman or be with that woman to be in that child's life. I mean, it was a rough thing that I kind of was, kind of pushing on him because I really didn't want that guy to make that decision. You know, if he'd have made that decision, it would have been, bad, man. It'd have been a rough thing for him. You know, I understand that, he wanted to be there for his child, but I'm like, like I had a process of me getting a house, and I told, you know, if I make a mistake on buying a house, yes, I can get a refinance. But to me, I was looking along the lines of being a 30-year mistake, you know. And that's the thing about marriage, what most guys don't understand. You want to try to get it right the first time, man. Sometimes, it's always human error because you never know what the other human is thinking or, what's going on in their head to the point where, hey, stroke of luck. I mean, that's all it boils down to. You got people that been married, in this generation now. Back in the day, I think it was like the silent generation, and them, them cats were married, 40, 50, 60 years and all that. Hey, just loving on each other, man. They, married young. That's how it was back then. Then you have these new generation, man. These cats is getting divorced left and right because the indoctrination of the culture, man. That You need somebody to ride along, with your side, man. Be there for you 100%. You know, I want my wife to be able to, go out there and, if she see me doing something, not necessarily, I mean, just to the point of checking me, man. Be like, hey, man, hey, think about what you're doing. Because as men, sometimes we might get a little wild, but she's not approaching, correcting my behavior, what I'm speaking to, but me just being a man, I got to come with, that whole formula of, having a wife and, working with her, dealing with her, doing things with her, ultimately, being the best man that I, be for the family. And a lot of guys, like I said, we don't have that structure. The ones that do have the structure, getting it from family and friends, that's a big thing, man. I mean, shouts out to them because they had fathers, they had uncles in the house that was, putting in the work, doing the best that they can to keep them young men out of trouble. I had a cousin, man. Guy got to 20, what, 22? He was doing his thing, hard head, didn't want to work. He started getting a taste of that street life, and it's up and down with him now. It's all in the judge hand to the point where I was kind of talking to the guy, trying to get him a job. Told him, man, at the same time, just being a man with some type of principle, man. I always tell guys, dealing with the 5%ers, man. I never was the guy that really dove down into it deeply, but the more or less knowledge yourself, man, it pushes you a lot farther in life to the point where you get an understanding of who and what you want to be. You know, oh, I'm sorry. Life is so dang good. I forgot to shout you out and everything. But okay, she about to start a class in a minute. Okay, but it's a crazy thing, man. We all out here, winging it. You know, we never really got that whole foundational structure on this is what needs to be done. We was always taught as a man, take care of the house, pay the bills. We was never taught, to deal with your woman in a certain way to where she respects you and understands you. Either two ways. You leading by force and demand, or you're submitting to her. And there's a balance in between, but there was never taught. The balance was never taught. It was always, one or the other. And when it comes to a lot of guys, that's where they, drop the ball at when they go into these relationships, trying to, come in with brute force. And that woman, she's been indoctrinated by some type of feminist raising, and she's not gonna go for it. She wants to be in a relationship. She probably wants to be married, but she knows she ain't gonna, sit there and will and deal with no man. So she puts her foot down. And what goes with that, conversation in that scenario? It doesn't end well. So when it come down to it, man, like I said, with the ride along, man, we gotta, vet these women, deal with them a certain way, man. Talk to the elders, man. A lot of guys, a lot of young guys don't want to talk to the elders. Learn how to move. That's the whole thing with boxing. That's why most of the time you see a great coach is more of the older guys that's out there. The guys that done been through the, fire and, experience things, and they can come back and say, hey, young man, this how life is. This how things go. Not the ones that are sitting up here saying, hey, follow my lead, do this and do that. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about, but we're gonna work it out together. Nah. That's what young guys do, man. If I don't know something, you don't know something, we put our head together and we figured out the best way we can. Older gentlemen, they know they've experienced certain things. It might not be the best experience, but the point of it is it was trial and tribulation, you know. But when it come down to it, man, like I say, we gotta have that communication. A lot of older men, you know, They got to stop putting this over these young guy heads. I know a lot of them are hard head. I know a lot of them, just generally don't know everything and know everything. You know, I got a son now, man. Dude, I got him in tutor. It's funny how the tutor always say, "Yeah, your son, man, he's not the one that real shy when it comes down to things. He wants to learn, he wants to do this, but at the same time, he needs to get it in his mind. He don't know everything, and how it's more or less me, because I put him in the mind frame of he need to get everything together. He need to learn how to stick and move, and in return, he needs to be a man of a man, like a man's man, not no man man. I ain't raised no man man. But he needs to get himself together where he can know something. If he don't know, he try to find out the answer. So, he always get to the point where he thinks he knows everything. And I have to set him down and be like, son, only way you know everything is you gotta learn, you know? And he's one of the kids that always asks a stupid question. He knows the answer to it, but I guess the kid just want to hear himself talk. Because when I asked him, be like, hey, stop playing. What's the answer? This. I was like, well, why did you ask that question? I don't know. I'm like, dude, cut that out. I'm like, people gonna think less of you by doing that. They're gonna think, you don't know things. I've done it before, but along the line, not even asking. I'm just more or less quiet and sit back and don't really say too much and learn things. And people might come off as me being aggressive. People might come off as like I say, me not being well known. I mean, well in the knowledge, things, because I might say something that's just plain Jane. I don't have to go philosophical about it. I just get directly to the point. You know, or to the point where it's more in layman's terms. I could sit down with a professor. You know, use relatively exquisite words to try to push my intellect. But at the end of the day, if I'm trying to sound smart, I need to more or less along the lines of being smart. And that's I'm always push this Book of Roger. The Book of Roger, to where um, men need to make more, and at 18, you need to know all you can know. Have some type of knowledge. Like I always tell men, I know about sewing. Not saying I'm out to go and sew up a whole suit or something, which I have sewed a pair of shorts before. And they came out pretty decent. The fabric was cheap, so it ripped on me, but I could patch that up and still rock them. One day I'm gonna put them on and sport them on the channel and let y'all see them, man. Them things was wild, man. Got a big old leather star on the side. I got pockets on them, man. I got mesh pockets the way you can see in the pockets. Hey, man, them things funky. I got buttons on them with stars. Hey, man, like I put some work into those pants, man. I ended up buying a sewing machine, and I was zip 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 zip. And, I was running it down because my still I have these dreams of being a designer. And the thing about me being a designer is, I want to be able to know how to do things. I don't want to go ahead and just pay everybody. Even I ended up buying a screen printing machine. Back in the day, it came out. I think it was like a Udemy. It was a small machine that you can actually screen print yourself. Got all the tools you need. Paints, the trough, the scrub, all everything. The light, the machine was all one stop shop. Bought that machine, made a couple shirts. Actually let my daughter use it. She made a couple shirts for school projects and got A1 grades. I was big on craft, because I draw. even though I haven't drawn on Arts Channel, I might go ahead and I just bought a camera. I got a mount. I might go ahead and do some artwork one day, man. Show it on Arts Channel, man. Shout out to Art Nostal. Might go ahead and drop. He's actually gonna drop late on tonight. I might even go ahead and go over there and do my thing. But let me get back on topic. The biggest thing, like I say, man, is getting into that ride or die, man, the ride alone. Because, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, all this stuff that women talk about falling in love, man, it be trash. Dudes, we'll sit there, we'll like a person to the point where she got potential, to where we go ahead and marry and she might grow on you. And if you don't believe me, we can hit along the lines of, dudes where they end up, marrying a chick that isn't, so par up to most people's standard. But to the point of it is, she a good person. You know, she might don't have it all in the looks department, but she make up for it as, her femininity and the way she carries herself. She carries herself like a lady. She dresses like a lady. She not more or less running around like a young lady, a little girl. You know, she has different standards that she set for herself. You know, different things that she want out of life, and she want to accomplish certain goals to the point where she make things happen for herself. A lot of guys don't understand that, man. Got to put yourself in the position to win. Like I say, that whole she looks good culture, man, it's rough. A lot of guys, we look at that, notion of looking at a hot chick and always talking junk about how she is, and to the point to, oh man, that gold professor. I kind of got a glance at the chat while I'm driving. But yeah, man, that yeah, it gets to the point where looks is good, but at the end of the day, you gotta count for what's really important. You have a woman that's kind of well rounded, can hold a conversation with you. You know, I'm not saying guys are going out here and marrying, a one or two, but a girl that might be just cute. She not above average. Beautiful, gorgeous to those type of standards. But she's cute, average. What's wrong with an average chick? The women, if they're willing to take a to a certain degree of average man, I guess, then guys, let's go ahead and they'll deal with average chick. Because like I always tell men, if you want that model, you want all this about these women, you gotta pay for it. You gotta have the money. And they had old songs back in the day, and no romance without finance. Those are goofy songs they used to have. But it's to the point where, you dealing in a relationship, man, you gotta, some things on the table. You gotta address them. You got to address some of the things that are on the table. And a lot of things on the table, people don't want to address them. When it comes down to having relationships and dealing with, these women that, look a certain way, bodies a certain way, you got to willing to be, accept them to the point where, hey, if she's the standard in which, everything else, but maybe she can drop that weight, you know, maybe a little makeup might go a long way. But, like I said, man, it ain't for everybody, man. I'm not forcing nobody to get married. I'm letting guys know to, weigh your options. And like I say, at the end of the day, it's on you. In the words of Go Professor, it's on you, black man. You know, and it's up to you. whatever you see fit. If you want to get married, you got to look at these standards, man, and look at the women. Look at what you're working with. Look at what you got to deal with, and go from there. Because at the end of the day, man, we got to look at it. We all we got, and in this world right now, you know, it's not many women that you can count on. So, hey, you gotta make it do what it do. Make it do what it do, baby. Because once again, it's to the point where we all we got. And for us to come in a relationship, and to have relationships to the point where we set a standard in which we want our women to be. Hey, there it goes. Stick to your guns. You know, and you might let a few things go, you might not. But the point of it is, if we're willing to get married, we gotta pass some things by. Hey, I wanted my wife to be tall. I was dealing with a chick who was a good specimen of the prototype, and it just didn't work out because like I say, the attitude didn't help. My wife, she dropped everything down. She a little shorter than what I normally deal with, or normally kind of pursue with. Because my thing of it was, I don't see nothing wrong with a tall woman. Yeah, I would date a woman that's taller than me. I wouldn't have no problem about that. you know. But like I say, when it came down to it, man, it's all about preference. What's going on, Ricky? Hey, man, I'm gonna be over there, man. Be over there be over there. Be over there a little later, man. We can drop it down. You said something about Texas, kind of driving and looking at the light. But yeah, man, we can have that talk. Yeah, man. For the guys in the space, man. Like I be trying to tell them, man, we need to work on things. Hey, go P, you got a sub over there to Ricky, man. He be dropping it. You know, he on that boxing. He on that boxing, man. And I be on there giving my little boxing knowledge, man. Him and underrated, Mark Nash, man. Shout out to them brothers, man. They be dropping the heat, man. So I push some guys channel underrated. I think Gold Professor is trying to make me be his apprentice and everything. I'm pushing channels just like he doing now, man. Got me over here pushing channels, man. Ricky channel, man, is on point. You know, underrated. Underrated turned me on to a lot of brothers, man. Underrated turned me on to Gold Professor. You know, uh, I know. I guess I gotta say pause right there, but underrated. He had a lot of brothers on his channel, man. I've always heard Gold Professor name. People be talking about him in the space, and I looked for his channel one time, couldn't find it. Then all of a sudden, I seen him in underrated chat. Hit it again. Just went and searched, and it popped up right out the blue. And he turned me on. Well, I'm gonna say he put me in position to look at Ricky Williams channel, Mark Nash channel, Basement Boxing Talk, Combat Sports. All those guys, man, in the boxing. Uh, what's my other guy name? Maurice McLean, the McLeans. Yeah, he's about to jump on YouTube. He's heavy in the boxing. I be looking over there with all them boxing guys, man. I forgot my dude name. I got from Ricky's show. The guy does, YouTubing on games. I be seeing the guy, come in crazy on the game. We going live. I think I'm about to, start dropping me a couple of game streaming on my on my games and everything too. But yeah, man. Like I say, just I guess a little rumble, rumbling on about marriage and dealing with the women, because at the end of the day, we all we got, you know. And the words of Gold Professor, hey black man, it's about you. It's about you, you know. And we push each other channels, man. Make guys get out there. You know, see these guys in a different light, because my thing is I always push other guys to start channels. Drop some information, man. And salute, yeah, salute to the family, man. That's what I do, man. I'm up here. I did a video. We dropped this right here. Did a video about me and my wife. We're actually gonna be doing more videos, man. Like I want to do a video. Ebo got me into this and Gold Professor. Now I'm gonna drop some stuff about my wife, about her family, how she was raised, a little more about me, how I was raised, and you know they say the truth will set you free, because I'm not trying to steer these young guys with false information, false narrative. I'm not trying to hold these guys back. I want them guys, coop the knowledge, man, and go out here and move. So if you dean on getting married, hey, I'm putting a lot of stuff in front of you, man. This what needs to happen. This is how you need to vet the woman. Check out her family, you know. Check out, if she has some daddy issues, man, can you afford to, deal with that in your life, man? Because it's gonna come about, man, where if you're dealing with a woman with daddy issues, hey, it's just what it is. That young lady, man, you're gonna take her on and deal with that responsibility, get her some help, or you're just gonna say, nah, leave her to the side. It's your choice. But at the end of the day, like I'm saying, when it comes down to it, hey, you gotta make that decision for yourself, man. You gotta be open about it too. You gotta understand, within what's going on right now, hey, it's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to, make the final cut of what needs to be done, with that relationship, whether it be with that woman, if you want to take her serious and go to the next level, or if you just want to, let the relationship lie dormant, then in that case, if you're not looking for love, you're not looking for an established relationship, by all means, enter the door at your own risk. Because if you giving false narratives to women, you can't be mad. You know, I've heard a guy, I've heard a woman on the channel on the Roger Report where, she was a nice looking lady and the guy ultimately wanted to get married and dropped down and say he didn't want to get married no more. Hey, she left him. They was engaged. I mean, well, not to the point where she wanted to get married. He didn't want to have kids. She left him because he didn't want to have kids after a while. At first, he was all good with the kids notion. He was all good with getting married, having kids. Then as he got to a certain age, he wanted to travel to where kids was gonna hold him back. And that's the thing, a lot of women want kids. I say a lot of dudes will want kids. It's very few of them that, get to the point where they be like, man, this is more important to me than kids right now. And I respect every man for that decision. I don't go against the grain on them. That's how they feel. That's how they want to run their life. Cool. But at the same time, every man is in, every man and every woman is entitled to their own happiness. And if they don't seek that happiness with you, they're going to go ahead and seek that happiness with somebody else. And as men, you got to be understanding that if she does that, hey, it is what it is. You know, you're not gonna marry her. She want to get married. She goes somewhere else. Hey, it is what it is. We made that decision. You established that by being with her for so many years and dealing with her to the point where You don't want to get married, it's best to just go ahead and tell her. Find you a girl that don't want kids. You know, it's a lot of women out here that, you know, they might talk a good game, but there's generally a couple of women that's getting older, they don't want kids. They just want somebody, you know, kick it with, knock them around every now and then, you know, not saying it's bad, but, you know, sexual activities, and they be good, you know. And when it comes down to it, hey, it's all up to you, man. If you feel, oh, I just hit it with the feel, so I got to do it. But yeah, man. If you get in that emotional state to where, you know, you want to, you know, be married, you want that opportunity, by all means, you know, step up to the plate. Learn all you can learn, man. Look at older people that's been married. See what they say. You know, a lot of guys they do some real simping, man. They might be like, give her what she want. Now, no, I love my wife. I might give her, you know, more than enough, but it's to the point where she don't get spoiled. Right now, she want this BMW. I mean, a Mercedes. She want a BMW. Now she want a Mercedes. I refuse to give her either car because, like I told her, if I get that car, you take care of the maintenance. I don't got a problem getting the car all day, but the point of it is, are you gonna be able to take care of the maintenance? If you can't take care of the maintenance, we're not even having this discussion. You know, it's like I tell people, you know, I'm in the insurance car club. You know, my insurance I got it runs as a car note to the point where, you know, when it comes down to it, I'd rather go ahead and take that money, put it towards that. You know, have my car note, like I call it, to deal with that situation that way in order to take care of my kids for the future. And I'm actually looking at getting more. And once again, man, let me shout out to Alonzo Hall, man. Alonzo Hall deal with the life insurance, you know, just in general finance, man. You know, guys better, you know, peep game. You know, you get older, even if you're not having kids, you still want to get married. You know, you still want to make it out. And, you know, you going down that road having, you know, issues, still want to have somebody, you know, to kind of work with. And that's the whole thing with getting married, you know. Women are going to, you know, take it to the next level. Men, we got to, you know, take our situation to the next level as well, you know. Get into a situation to where, you know, you're being loved, you know, not being taken, you know, advantage of, and, you know, of all things, you know, put on a pedestal, you know. I like for, you know, young men to experience certain things in life to where, you know, it feels good, man. You know, we always hear a lot of things in this space where a lot of guys, you know, get that bad issues and stuff with the women. And I understand that, man. You know, when it comes down to it, hey, it is what it is. You know, we're gonna move a little different though. We're gonna set the tone a little different to the point where, you know, we give an understanding to what, you know, a lot of women and a lot of men, you know, we give an understanding to, you know, let them, you know, do their thing. All right. And to a situation to where, you know, I'm rambling a little bit, man. I'm actually doing some stuff and moving around and everything else and driving, you know, but yeah, man. Like I said, when it comes down to it, marriage is a beautiful thing, man. And in order to be married, you got to set some type of standards and goals, you know, about what are we willing to do. A lot of people they got to understand in this process of being married, you got to, you know, have a structure. Got to have a structure in which things are implemented, you know, and it's going to be for the greater good. It is going to be for the greater good. And for that greater good, we got to be able to, understand that a lot of situations, man, that we put ourselves into, we got to hold it and take accountability for it, man. Everybody, like I say, everybody's not going to be rich. Everybody's not going to, be able to do certain things in a relationship. And for the ones that can and can't, man, got to come to that understanding. And for the ones, that, heavily being able to, advance in life with, different relationships and being applauded in the, the good way. Everybody not gonna make it. Everybody's not gonna be held to, a certain standard of life in which, they looked upon as, being the best. But like I say, you gotta move different. You gotta be a little stronger, man. Deal in a light in which, man, I'm going in circles. Got me going on weird. But yeah, man, because let me go ahead and jump off of this because I'm just ain't really doing too much talking, and I'm actually trying to find this place. But shout out to Ricky, shout out to Gold P, Absalom. What's going on, man? Shout out to Life is so dang good. You know, everybody that came in on the chat, man. I'ma holler at y'all. You know, and when it boils down to it, like I said, as a community, man, we gotta join together to, do some things, make some things work for us, man. And like I always say, we gone.